Hello, this is Ginny Brant with Unleash Your God-Given Healing. Today we're going to look at 5 keys for a successful marriage, one of the best things you can have in life. My husband and I have been happily married this December for 47 years. And that's not bad out of 48 years of marriage. And in all those years, believe it or not, I've only threatened to shoot him twice. When Ruth Bell Graham, the wife of the Reverend Billy Graham, was asked by the media if she'd ever considered divorcing the Reverend, she responded, "Divorce, never. Murder, yeah." She was so real, and we just love her for it. In any marriage, there are those times we all know when something the other person does just will irritate you to no end, and that's normal. But realize that marriage takes hard work. And here are 5 keys for a successful marriage that both must work toward. Number 1, keep God at the center of your relationship. Dr. Raymond Scott, who married us 48 years ago, he told us that marriage is like a triangle. God is at the apex, and the closer we grow to Him, the closer we grow to each other. And we have found that to be true. It's amazing that we came from such different backgrounds, yet we've grown in our faith, and we've grown closer to God and to each other. The Bible clearly tells us not to be unequally yoked. For a marriage to be successful, we must have the same commitment to our faith. Number 2, make a commitment to love. In real estate, the 3 keys are location, location, location. But in a marriage, it's commitment. Commitment, commitment. The best picture I can give you of this is when Deanna McClary saw her husband Clebe in an Army hospital after part of his face and arm had been blown off. No part of his body was not damaged or bleeding. She didn't even recognize her own husband. But in that horrifying moment, she chose that commitment to love. Many men in Clebe's situation get a Dear John letter from their loved one. But for Deanna, leaving wasn't an option. And years later, Clebe and Deanna have remained committed to their marriage for over 50 years and to a ministry that has taken them all over the United States and some parts of the world. Although much lesser, my husband faced the same dilemma when the cancer journey wiped every hair off my head and left me disfigured. Yet every morning he'd say, "Honey, you're still the most beautiful woman east of the Mississippi River." You see, he loved me unconditionally, and every cancer patient needs that. Every marriage needs that. And love is not just an emotion, it's a commitment. Make a commitment to love in good times and in bad times, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. Number 3, both partners must give 100%. Yes, it takes 2 people to make that marriage work. It's not you give half and I'll give half. It's both giving all they've got, 100%, to each other. I can't tell you the number of times in all these years that one of us has been knocked down and the other one had to do everything. When Alton had cancer, I was his main support, and vice versa. We don't worry about whose job it is. We pitch in to help each other to get the job done. This new idea today of having separate bank accounts and you spend what you make and I'll spend what I make, I don't know where that came from. A good marriage takes both people giving their all and combining their resources. Number 4, Prioritize your marriage relationship. We all know when children come into the marriage, they can dominate the scene. But even when our twins were born, we made spending time together a priority. When we didn't have money for babysitting, which was much of the time, we simply put our 3 sons to bed early and watched a movie in the den. One night a week was our designated time to be together. My husband's parents, in addition, would occasionally help by keeping them, but once a year they would keep them for a week while we got away by ourselves. This was so important to us that Alton and I now do this for our own sons, so they can have time away with their wives. Dr. Scott also told us the best thing you can do for your children is to give them a good marriage. From this protected relationship, children feel secure and they learn how to have their own successful marriage one day. By putting your marriage first, you are putting your children and their welfare first too. And number 5, set important goals together. Dr. Scott encouraged us to set these goals even before we got married. We decided before our children were born that it was best for me to stay at home with them until they were at least school age. We had no idea that my husband would go back to school to get his doctorate after our first son was born. This put me working full-time and him as a full-time student who studied during the day while keeping our son. This is when he got the nickname Mr. Mom, and he did a super job. Our goal was that we would be the primary influence on our children. And even though my husband was a full-time student, we were both able to be that primary influence on our son, even in our unusual circumstances. It's also important to agree on finances and keep each other in the loop. Set financial goals together. In the cancer journey, my husband jokingly told me, "Oh, honey, you just can't die because you do the taxes." You got to have a sense of humor to get through the tough times in life. You see, our goal in life was never to make money. Oh, to support our family, yes. Our goal was to serve God. And we had many years where our budget was real tight, but also years when we've had a plenty. It's amazing how our goals and desires continue to be aligned. Did you know that the first institution God created was the family? And that begins with a strong marriage grounded in a relationship with God and also in His Word. This relationship is further enhanced by our dedication to our faith, commitment to love each other, both being willing to give all 100% to make the marriage work, spending quality time together, and sharing important common goals. So here's to 48 years and many more. A successful marriage is one of the best things that someone can have in life. And those couples with long and happy marriages are known to actually live longer.
I just want to set the record straight. My wife has threatened to shoot me more than 2 times.
That's not true.
But she's been a great wife, 98% of the time. Now, I know what you're wondering. What's my batting average? I think mine's at about 99.2.
No, it's not that
3%.
perfect.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. Thank you, honey, and thank you for being there with me during the tough times. I hope this video has inspired you today to work on your marriage, to share this video with those you know who are struggling in this so important relationship. Here's to 48 years and many more for us, and may God bless you as you enrich and strengthen your marriage too. God bless.